What's up guys, it's Dekkster here, and Saviors of Uldum has been out for almost a week now, and the meta is kind of starting to take shape. I still wouldn't say it's solved. There are a ton of control warriors out there, but it seems like, I don't know, maybe like Priest is kind of taking its place in that #1 spot. I do want to go over 5 decks that's kind of stood out to me, but before I actually go into those, let's look at HSReplay real quick. So if you sort this on the last day for ranks 1 through 5, seems Combo Priest is actually #1, and then you got Murloc Shaman there, and then a ton of decks in tier 2. We got Big Spell Mage, Control Warrior, Murloc Paladin, Highlander Hunter, Mech Hunter, Aggro Warrior, Control Mage. There's so many different decks in tier 2, so you can definitely get away with playing a lot of fun decks right now still, and still mega to legend really. But instead of going over the HSReplay decks, I'm gonna go over some decks I found on Twitter that people were performing really nicely with. First up, I'm gonna talk about BoarControl's Aggro Rogue. He hit rank 2 legend with this, and there's kind of been a trend in running Zephyrus in Aggro Rogue build because he's not terribly statted, and then if you end up using Myras, which you usually will, he ends up, you know, working. He ends up getting you that lethal or getting you out of a sticky situation. So this build by BoarControl has just been doing great. It's very reminiscent of Krea's list, but it's a little bit different. We have a lot of pressure here. It's very, very aggressive. And you're just gonna like destroy those quest decks. Those decks are a little bit greedier, maybe a little bit slower. You're gonna be equipping your 3-drop weapon, which if you combo it out, it'll make the Corsair free. Then you're gonna maybe hit that with the deadly poison. You're gonna have deckhands going face, eviscerates going face. You got life drinker in there, waggle picks, and then giving your weapon that extra durability with green skin. The deck just it blows other decks out of the water before they can even really get the ball rolling. You know, I feel like raiding party might actually fit quite nicely here. You do have pirates and you got weapons, but we'll see how the Aggro Rogue build develops over time. We got Yumura hitting rank 2 legend with a combo Priest, and Priest has been in a really good spot actually. As you saw in HSReplay, it's actually the #1 deck. And it's got a really low curve, and it's also relatively budget at only 3,840 dust. You could just destroy people by playing Light Warden on 1 or Cleric on 1, and then, you know, just buffing them up, and then kind of sealing the deal with that Divine Spirit combo. High Priest Amet, you know, putting in a ton of work here. You could just buff him up and then play some minions, and those minions are gonna have a ton of health. And then also these injured cards, the injured Tol'vir, the injured Blade Master, you play them down and then you can heal them up with the Ritualist, and the whole deck just has fantastic synergy together. Psychopomp, if you res one of the injured cards, they're gonna have full health. They won't have taken that damage from the battle cry. And then of course we got the insane draw with the Northshire Cleric, the Acolyte of Pain, and the Pyromancer sort of shenanigans going on. And then yeah, I don't know, when I'm playing against this deck, I just get destroyed by Light Warden. Those things get out of hand so quickly, and yeah, this is a great deck. I've been seeing so many Reno mages out there, and XilinhungHS hits rank 4 legend with this build. He's actually running a Mossy Horror because there are so many priests on the ladder. Mossy Horror kind of deals with the injured Tol'virs, the Amets, the Light Wardens, the Clerics. A lot of minions in Priest are just destroyed by Mossy, so it's a really smart tech card. But yeah, who would have thought that Highlander Mage would be so powerful? We do have King Phaoris in here because you got some expensive spells with your power creation, your Flame Strikes, your Blizzard, your Puzzle Box. Then of course, Pocket Galaxy is just such a strong card, making all your cards really, really cheap. The Tortolan Pilgrim is just nuts. It feels like it always finds the right card. Maybe you're using it to throw out your Pocket Galaxy, or maybe you're using it for a Puzzle Box for, you know, a Hail Mary, or just getting the power creation out there. And then the Pilgrim's also a great target for your Conjurer's Calling. Reno actually feels really, really strong here. Of course, Zephyrus is just great. And then you got Barista in there, so you can get extra copies of those. And Brewmaster, you can bounce them back. And then Kartut Defender. I think this card was a little bit underrated. Like, it does so much. 2 bodies and healing that 6 is just so annoying for those aggro decks. So yeah, if you've been looking for a nice expensive 22,000 dust Highlander Mage deck, this is probably a great choice. We got Khamul hitting top 10 legend with the Zoo deck, which I believe is pizzas. And he claims it does great against Mage and Warrior and pretty much everything. Now, unfortunately, it seems like Tekken has been cut from Zoo lists. I guess the inconsistency and kind of basing your deck around lackeys just isn't worth it. So instead, we're running this sort of build. It's got the Sea Giants. It's still got that powerful, Thrasher into Vulture stuff going on. You get the Vulture down, and that card is just, I think, what kind of makes this deck go to the next level for this expansion. You throw down the Vulture, you can hit, a Flame Imp, which will spawn another random 3-drop. The Crystallizer kind of does it as well. Tapping does it. And then I really like the Serpent Eggs here. Playing the Serpent Egg and then eating it with the Genius feels pretty good, or destroying it with a Grim Rally, or maybe just buffing it up with the Defender of Argus. Overall, really enjoying this Zoo deck. So if you miss Zoo, you want to play some Zoo, this is probably one of the lists to look at. All right, so I got Zed taking Fibonacci's Reno Warrior to top 10. Now, I'm going over this Warrior deck. I do think that, Control Warrior's just better, but the list doesn't look that much different from previous expansions, so I'm going to cover this one, which is performing quite nicely, and it's actually really, really cool. We do have that combo in here with, going Leroy, Inner Rage, Rampage, hitting it with a Bloodsworn Mercenary, and slapping him in the face for 22, which never gets old. We also got Grom in there for a ton of damage. Of course, we got Zephyrus in here. We got Siamat, which is pretty cool, and then Octosari, kind of a weird choice, right? But it's an 8-mana 8/8, and drawing cards is generally going to be good because this deck doesn't have too much card draw. But yeah, I think Fibonacci hit legend with this, and then Zed has taken it to top 10. So if you want a fun warrior list, I recommend this. If you want a better one, probably just take Control Warrior. You can find that somewhere on HSReplay. But yeah, those are the 5 standout decks for me. Once again, be careful crafting anything. The meta is not completely solved yet. Hopefully it remains unsolved because that's more fun. But don't craft Quest Paladin and expect it to just blow all these decks out of the water, because we got a lot of strong looking decks out there. If you do have to craft one deck, I would probably lean towards the Combo Priest because it's one of the more affordable ones at only 3,840 dust. It's actually the top deck right now. And I mean, yeah, the cheap dust is the main attraction there for me, because if you make Reno Mage and it's 23,000 dust and then everyone decides just the old Conjure Cyclone Mage is better in a couple days, you're probably gonna feel pretty bad. So that's my recommendation. Hope you guys are enjoying this meta. I definitely am. If you like the video, hit it with a thumbs up. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe, and I do stream on Twitch if you want to catch me over there. Good luck on ladder and stay hydrated.